Welcome to Leading with Joy, where we are exploring what it means to live, lead, and facilitate joy. Today, I'm here with Coach Cheryl Foster, and I'm just so excited to dive in to learn more about where you're at. It has been a while.
Mhm.
Let's catch up. And let's just start with, if you don't mind sharing just a little bit about who you are and what you're up to.
Okay. Cheryl Foster, and I'm a clarity coach. And I've actually just created, you don't even know this yet, Jillian, but I created a space that allows people to pause and create perspective. And it's really about anyone who is ready for change and wants to create different results in any area of their life. So it's about getting to know yourself and becoming a self master of yourself, turning the chaos into mastery, and choosing to live the life that you can feel calling you from inside. Yeah.
Feel
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel this. Okay, so what is life looking for you like for you? It's been a while. I
Yeah.
don't even remember what year we graduated.
A few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been coaching, you've been studying. I know you've been taking lots of certifications. So what is life kind of looking like for you? What is life and work and business looking like for you now?
Yeah. Now I was primarily doing one on ones while I was continuing to train after the Joy Method, because the Joy Method for me really was the embodiment piece that I needed to
You
be
mean the
able
Joy
to.
Facilitator program? Like, do you mean the facilitator
Yes, the
program?
Joy
Okay,
Facilitator program, which is based on the Joy Method. And that,
exactly.
yeah, the Joy Method helped me to be able to trust in what I was feeling, in the work that I was being called to do. And so from that program, I took other training that was specific to the areas that I was being called in. And now I've just created a space where I'm able to deliver content that is it's not meant to fix. It's not meant to say, do this, do this, do this. It's meant to allow users to just self reflect and to create awareness and recognition on who they are, what it is that they want. Because often we get so focused on what we think is wrong in our life, and really, it's just about being buried underneath all the expectations and the noise and just the patterns in society without taking a moment to actually get grounded into what it is that we want to do. So that's the space I've created that is a self-paced journey that I contribute to every week. And then I do deeper work one-on-one with clients who are just ready to, like, the past, present, future, as we kind of open this conversation with, is to really look back at what the story holds, the parts of us that aren't aware of the stories that were placed there before we had the ability to reason and understand them fully, so that we can remove limiting beliefs and barriers and really expand into who we can be, the
Okay, I
possibilities of who we
love
are.
this. I love this. Okay, we're going to dive in so much more deeply. Let's circle back to circa 2023.
Yes, that's what it
You,
was.
you, you and I meet. What did that look like? Like, where were you when you felt called to the Joy Facilitator program? And can you go back and kind of share with us what that looked like for you? What was calling you? Kind of paint us a picture.
Yeah. I had just finished a life coaching certification, and I just knew that I was being called to guide others. I had been through some contrast in my life, and that in itself created a lot of awareness that I needed to do some work, and I was really craving to get to know myself on a deeper level. And I was really feeling disconnected. Um, I guess spiritually and from trust, if I'm being honest. I didn't know that then. I was just feeling like I was craving something deeper. And so I was looking all over the place. I was even enrolled in the University of Alberta. Do you remember that? I
Yeah.
wanted to go back and do psychology because I had done so much training and really felt called to that area. But when I met with you, I realized that I actually didn't want to fit into an already structured mold of a role that already exists in a system that I felt needs to be broken open, and light needs to, like, come into these systems. And I really believe that we can see evidence of this in our entire society, especially right now. The noise, the discomfort, the levels of anxiety, depression, and substance abuse, domestic abuse. is all on the rise because I really feel like we've lost our way. We've put so much value on external authority over decades and even centuries that we've lost the ability to trust ourselves and to trust that we're not here alone. And if I could name what I was feeling at that time, I didn't have the words for it then. That's what I was craving. And that's really what the Joy Session Facilitator program gave to me was that level of trust that I wasn't alone. Number one, I was introduced to like my soul sisters in that program. And that was the best part that I wasn't even expecting was to be able to be so vulnerable and so just experience such growth with other women who are doing the same thing was such a beautiful experience. And the tool of the joy method really helped me to be able to take what I learned and really deepen into that trust and then continue on my path of developing the career that I felt so called to do that I didn't know how to get to.
I love this. And now you can confidently say you're doing it.
Yes, I'm doing it. I'm doing it and it feels so good. Today's conversation is of course synchronicity, right? My first article will launch today and I'm doing that in Substack. So it's really like the door is opening to this space today and I'm so excited
I'm so excited. We will link
just
that
to
up for
breathe
you in
that.
the show notes for sure because I want
Okay.
everyone to find you, Cheryl. Everyone needs your light 100%.
Yeah, yay.
Okay, so flashing back
Mhm,
in
mhm.
time to where you felt like maybe disconnected from yourself and a little bit of trust and knew you could feel what that next level was, but maybe didn't know what it looked like. What felt like it could have stopped you at that time from joining?
Fear,
Yeah.
like, there was a lot of fear of, who do I think I am to even be the one to do this kind of work? Feeling like maybe actually part of it too was I wasn't even sure that I believed in trust and in having a greater support, a spiritual connection, any of that. And my old stories would just dismiss that as like woo and like, what are you? Is this even real? Are your dreams even possible? And so it did take a level of trust to even commit to a journey where I was spending so much time and the financial investment was something that I wasn't even sure existed or was possible,
Right. Ooh,
right? Yeah.
this is a new level of resistance unlocked. I don't think, I've been interviewing certified facilitators and haven't really heard that one. I also really identify with the who am I? That's what a lot of people I think are feeling before they're about to embark on something really big that is so well deserved,
Mhm.
but often brings up that piece, that imposter syndrome or that belief like, am I worthy of this? And then also, what is everyone else gonna, all of those
Mm,
considerations,
mhm.
which are things that we actually do work through a program. Because the thing is, and tell me if I'm wrong, is as we move through these pieces and as we walk those edges and move ourselves through that resistance, we then also get to turn around and support others through it as well.
Yeah,
And
totally.
have you noticed this come up for you and your clients as well? Yeah.
Somebody once, I read this somewhere that you only need to be 10 steps ahead of the people that you're guiding and you will meet. It's like that people are just attracted to you for the steps that you've just gone through.
One
People will
step ahead.
suddenly, one
You
step
only
ahead,
need to be one step ahead,
literally.
and honestly, I'm just gonna demystify something here. I'm sorry for interrupting, but
Yeah.
I feel this so deeply, Cheryl, that, like, that old model of leadership of, like, having to be the boss, the authority, the controller, like, it's actually sometimes you are side by side, and that's okay too.
Yes. Yes.
That's
And
joy
really
leadership.
it's simply about bringing the light so that the other person can just see the next step. It's not
Yeah,
about you giving them the next step or telling them which step to take. It's the light. It really is about the light and the energy.
and what I know deeply as the leader of this program is, like, the students, the other facilitators, we're now colleagues, and I learn just as much from you as you learn from me. There's so much available when we can see it a little bit differently, less about the needing to be the one who knows everything, or because again, that can be a block. It's actually, I know I get to learn along the way, and the students, everyone who enrolls in the program, every single intake has gotten stronger because I really take into consideration what is being brought forward through each student. And I
Mhm.
think the new era of leadership to me, like, it's embodied, it's authentic, it's also flowing and shifting, and it requires receiving as much as giving.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that just emphasizes that we all carry an inner authority.
Yes.
and we all have magic to share with each other, and we're all different. And so
Woo!
being open to receive that is a part of the growth in that
Yeah.
journey. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for me, because, like, this program is friggin' spiritual. It's like this was
It
channeled.
is.
This was a deep call for me, like, through the path. You'll hear about it more if and when you step in, whoever is feeling the call, about where this kind of came through. And, it's from the deep healing of myself through addiction and sobriety and
Mm.
codependence and, all of the imposter syndrome and fear and all of these things. All of this was built out of those very human, real experiences that I also personally had, and so I just like to keep it really humble and real around, like, I'm not telling you what to do, I'm not and I also everyone who I'm calling in, like, I see this truly as that field full of fireflies, right? Like,
Yeah.
and, okay, yes, I might have been there first, technically, but as I'm calling in more beams, more joy beams, it's because each and every one of us has magic light that the world needs. And this program to me, just like you said at the beginning, is giving you a formula, a structure for you to be able to share your inner wisdom, your authority, your messages, like what you're here to share. And I just so deeply believe that we're all here to light it up. It's not, yeah, it's not a typical program.
It's not. No, but it is so needed.
Yeah.
So needed. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what makes it special is that it's not built on, tradition or expectation or societal structure. It is literally something that I believe you channeled through higher intelligence because you did the work and because you opened yourself and have fostered that spiritual connection. You've deepened your trust. And this message is something that you need to share with the world as a tool that they can use to shine their light, really. And yeah,
Yeah.
and that you walk that. You walk that for every session that you come to. It's like the mood, nobody ever shows up feeling like that just wasn't for me today. Magically, it just for every one of us that came, it just magically was what we needed to hear. And it wasn't like, okay, today we're on page 34. It wasn't
Your
like
joy
that. You
finder.
literally would just show up and you'd put your hand on your chest and sometimes a unicorn heart. But you channeled it. It was like it just flows. Yes, exactly.
Love that,
Yeah.
Cheryl. Oh
And
my
that's
gosh.
refreshing because it's showing us what it looks like to show up without the answers and to just
Ooh.
really trust yourself that what you need to know will come. It is available to you through the people around you, through your connection, and through yourself.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I so feel that. And I notice, students coming in and really feeling like they need to have their shit together or know all the things. And I think that's part of what we heal is, again, that true leadership, joy leadership, as I call it, isn't about being right or perfect. It's about being you. And it's also knowing, okay, the curriculum is very well defined. Oh, trust me, we've even deepened more deeply into
She
like,
likes her
I
organization.
like I do. I like
Which
the
is
structure.
good.
I
Yeah.
like the soulful strategy, like every ounce of it is so intentional. But there is so much room for the magic and the flow and what needs to come through. Because to be honest, again, every day I wake up, I just ask God to use me as an instrument of peace and love and joy. And then I do my best to get out of the way and allow for those messages to come through, as I do in every class, in every session, in every client session. The belief that we need to have it all together and know all the answers is a fallacy. It doesn't allow for any of the magic that's meant to flow through us. And I believe we're all master manifestors. And to make manifest, if we just think about this as creativity, as creatives, creative beings, it's meant to come through us. Inspiration comes from the Latin root inspire in spirit. So
Yeah.
it's, we are meant to be moving through life in so much more flow. The human aspect, the fear side wants to have control and know everything so that we can prepare ourselves so that we can feel like we have some sense of control. And there is a level of control that we have as the joy warriors, the deliberate designers. I have the control of honoring my feelings. I have the control of noticing my thoughts and shifting them. I can
Mhm.
control, setting intentions and taking inspired action. I can
Direction.
control gratitude and my focus on it. I can control my excitement and getting excited about possibilities. I can control whether or not I'm actually trusting or forcing.
Yes.
Okay, that might have felt familiar because that was the joy method,
I was seeing the diagram.
right? But I
Yes.
think I just got full shivers
Yes.
because Cheryl, I've unlocked like new pieces of the joy method. I mean, and I don't know if you have this experience too, but in the newest intake, it really became clear it's actually a nervous system regulator.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is the tool that allows you to embody that. I think a lot of the work, as we say, a lot of it is about backing up, and a large part of that exists like almost the step before the joy method. But even knowing that and going through the process of that, you still have to embody it daily because life is happening all around us. And our systems they don't operate in a way that will naturally guide us where we want to go because they are rooted in safety and comfort, and growth doesn't live inside of comfort. So having this joy method just gives you that, okay, I know this now. Now, how do I live it? This is how you live it. Like it really is. And every time you level up your awareness or your understanding or your education, it's just new pieces that go into that funnel, those 7 steps that come with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could jam on this all day.
I know we could. I wanted to share, I don't know why this came in as we were talking, but another piece, I don't know if this has been shared by anyone else, but like, for example, I have teenagers in my house right now. And my oldest son just recently said to me, like, have you ever thought, like, are we our body? Like, are we, and I'm like, I've been waiting for this day. Like, can we talk now? He's like, Mom. He's like, well, maybe you're not the right person to talk to. You're so unrelatable. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm unrelatable? He says, well, you've got it all figured out. And I said, like, no, I don't have it figured out. And that's something that you really need to understand is that nobody has it figured out. And then all 3 of my kids looked at me and they said, that is totally something that somebody who has it all figured out would say. But my point is that, like, that is a message I really want them to understand is that nobody does have it figured out and that failure is a part of learning and growing. And when you have a framework to come back to that is rooted in trust, it just gives you that ability to grow. And imagine having that knowledge from like teenage years, right?
My goodness.
So this, as a parent, anyone who is on the fence that is a parent, this is a fantastic tool for yourself, for your business, clients, even if you're in corporate, but it is an amazing tool to be able to parent with this information as well. Like,
Yeah.
so powerful.
Yeah, I hear that all the time. Thanks for mentioning that, Cheryl. I hear it a lot, like what this looks like in the personal aspect of life. And I think at the very bottom line is this is a personal development. It's personal and professional. It's both. And it will change your life because true joy leadership is from the inside out. We need to be embodied and integrated in order to lead this work in the world. So that's why also there's like such deep integration pieces built into the program as well. Checking into the turning point for you when you were like, okay, I'm not, who am I to believe I should do this or could do this? And then what kind of changed, like what shifted, what turned you into a yes, a full yes?
I think it was after we spoke, there was just the energy in speaking with you lit something up, excitement. I could feel the excitement and the possibility, and I didn't want to ignore it. I just didn't want to ignore it. I wanted to
I just got
trust
full
and
shivers.
follow. And that was my first experience with trust, trusting the nudge.
Wow.
And because, yeah, how was I going to explain this program that talks about, there was so many reasons not to when I thought of it logically, but when I really felt into my body, it really was something that I was drawn to. And that's what I followed.
I love this, Cheryl. Okay. I kind of want to dive in a little bit too, and I don't know, if you're open to sharing a little bit about your power story, because I so deeply believe, and this is something that we're exploring more and more in Facilitator program now, is like, not that you have to have suffering to experience joy or to lead it, because the truth is it's even more practical and probably relatable for those who just have, those little bits of contrast, which we all have as humans. Some of us experience more contrast than others. Knowing you and knowing what really brought you to the work and to the work that you're doing is around the level at which you had that contrast and now how you've got the clarity and what you're doing with it now, which I believe is the purpose, right? Like we give this pain in our lives, those places meaning, I believe, as we are open to sharing and guiding others through it so that they don't have to go through the same thing. Would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. And are you open to sharing a
Yeah.
little bit about that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the tools that I've added to my, work since the Joy Session Facilitator program is human design, and the only reason I'm bringing that up is because human design really looks at the shadow pieces of our possibility and our learning experiences and what the light of that looks like, and really, truly, it's like you say that true joy you can't experience without the contrast. There is no light without dark, or to truly appreciate the light. You can't do that without having seen the dark. And so I believe that all of us have shadow experiences that we are meant to go through to be able to experience the highest level of joy possible for us. And so for me, yeah, there was some deep, dark stories. It was relationship based for me. And it's been a while since I told this story. I'm not sure where
And you
to
don't have to
begin.
dive into the whole
Yeah,
thing. Like, it's just kind of
no.
like where your experience comes from, where that shadow where you've reclaimed the light essentially is what
Yeah, I
I think
think
would be
if I was
helpful.
to like just summarize it in a very generalized way, it was about losing my ability to use my own voice. And that was something that removed my identity, really. The parts of me that were natural. I created faces to be able to cope. And there was a lot of people pleasing, caretaking, organizing to avoid things that I thought could be dangerous or discomfort. And I lived behind those for so long that I forgot who I was. And that really creates a dark place that does not foster hope. And so, as often happens, when you're living in that space, it's like, what is your rock bottom? And this can be different for anyone in any situation. For me, my life just literally turned upside down one day, and everything that I thought was my identity disappeared. And I used the strength of motherhood to get me through that because I needed to be stronger than I believed I could be for them. And that's what drove me to do the work and to face, which is the only way to get through to the other side, to face the lessons and to really look at what was so uncomfortable in the eyes and understand what that story was telling me and what was available to pull from it as wisdom to go forward. And I can truly say that I hold that with such gratitude, that whole experience now, because it has shown me my life again. It has reminded me who I am. And I love to do work that allows that for somebody else who's living behind those pieces and masks and is feeling so numbed that they forget what joy feels like. They forget, or they're even afraid to hope for something better. I love to be able to guide somebody on a path back to themselves so they can see that and feel that light again.
My goodness, Cheryl, that was so beautiful. Honestly spoken
Thank
so
you.
well and so healed. Like, I know you could have told a different version of that story. I've heard the different version and it's
Yeah.
powerful,
Yeah.
but I feel like you just shared it with us in the light.
Yeah.
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 How did that feel?
It feels so good. It really
Yeah.
does feel good. It's like I describe it like this, it's like turning when you look back, sometimes all we see is chaos, and we create this story of, "Oh, I didn't succeed at that, and this was a failure, and I'm not good enough for this." But when you really look at the thread that winds it all together, there is something so beautiful, and that's where self-mastery, I believe, comes from, is understanding the power that comes from your story. And when you
Yeah.
can step on the other side of it and pull that out, that's when you get to walk out your purpose. That's where you find your purpose, I believe.
Yeah. I love this.
Yeah.
And it's also like to me, the pain, the suffering, the contrast, when we can reclaim our power on that.
Mhm.
And then which you've so clearly done, and then share that in the light. That's where it becomes purpose, and it also helps other people through their pain to reclaim their power. It's just like
Yes.
this beautiful web, I think, of empowerment through sharing and true connection and authenticity. Yeah?
Yeah. Yes, which is what the world is craving so badly.
I know.
Authenticity, yeah.
I know. I love this. I see you helping so many people who are perhaps living a lie or their life has been shattered by loss in some way and they feel like they're not sure who they are and maybe who they've never even been. I just feel like you are an absolute thread and light for them all. And it was interesting when you said Foster's Hope. I'm like, oh my God, Cheryl Foster's Hope. Your little last name is Foster. It is Foster Hope. This is what's coming from new brand. I love this so much. Thank you for just being you and sharing all of this. And I think let's just wrap this up. I want to wrap it up by saying thank you. Thank you for trusting me. Those years ago, thank you for trusting you and spirit and your path. I know you're lighting it up for so many now. And I feel like just inviting anyone who feels called to work with Cheryl, I absolutely recommend her. She is a powerful force in this world, as you can tell. And if you want to share where we can find you, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, thank you for that, first of all. Thank you for the work that you do for continuing to walk in this space and create this space for so many people because I believe the world needs all of us. And so for you to be able to provide this tool and hold people in this space while they find that tool is beautiful and so needed right now. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, Room 11 is the publication that lands today. So that's where you'll find my work. No, I'm actually CherylFoster.ca is where you will find me
Okay.
because I do believe, and I think you talk about this in the Joy Session Facilitator program, that we literally are our brand. And so all of my work comes through CherylFoster.ca. It's not just Room 11. It's not just the coaching business. It's all of the work that I do. That's where you'll find me. That's my handle on Instagram, CherylFoster.ca. And yeah, I guess if I was to narrow down what the Joy Session Facilitator program, it really is the tool to be able to walk in your own identity. And when you do that, you get to show up in any area of your life more strongly, more fully, and with the tools that you need to get to the levels you want. Yeah.
But thank you, Cheryl. I freaking love you. Thank you
I
so
love
much.
you
Keep shining.
too.
Shine on, sister.
You
And I'm
too,
always cheering
dear.
you on.
Cheers, face at
Giant mugs
face,
unite.
giant mugs. Thank you, Jillian.
Oh my God.